Hello, hello, hello. This is at Hombre Vendor from Offensive Points and the Dynasty Tailgate podcast. We are going to go over the Lincoln Riley issue that has arisen around college football. So, as many people are aware, because it's everywhere, you can't hide from this. Lincoln Riley has taken the job at USC, and he has taken the defensive coordinator, the strength and conditioning coach. He's taken, I don't know, two or three other coaches, receivers coach as well, Dennis Simmons, with him out to LA to be the new coach of the USC Trojans. I'm an OU fan, as you can see. OU pride. Got the Baker shirt, Samaje Perine, Marquise Hollywood Brown jerseys behind me. Plenty more I have. I just didn't want to dig them all out for this because Lincoln Riley isn't worth that to me at this point. Well, I'll do this in we'll do this in two parts. We'll do the emotional OU overreaction part first, and then we'll do what this means for OU and USC in the future, and maybe even college football as a whole, because I think there's a bigger issue here that needs to be addressed, and we just, we got to do this now. So let's get the emotional part out of the way first for OU. This sucks. This is going to set the program back probably like 5 years, I would say at least. Spencer Rattler's in the portal. Kind of saw that coming, not going to lie. Pretty much all of the recruits from 2023 are out. Is what it is. That kind of saw that coming too. Yeah, Lincoln's had this Cali connection for a while, and while Oklahoma and myself, everybody thought that it was just a good little recruiting tool. Hey, let's get all these California guys to come play at Oklahoma. And it worked out great. It was fun. Loved it. Got plenty of guys. But this was a disaster for Oklahoma. It's a blindsiding. It's not good for the program at all. I don't really know how Oklahoma goes forward from this without going down a few steps along the way. So Lincoln Riley decided to do this a few weeks ago, maybe even before the season. Take the glasses off for the rest of this. He may have chosen to do this before the season. And here's why I say that. Oklahoma was unfocused the entire season, and we didn't really understand why. Like, that was the thing. And it's kind of, there's been little things here and there that Lincoln's done that's made it seem very peculiar of him to just kind of out of the blue take this job. And I don't think it was out of the blue at all. And a lot of people that I've seen reporting say this for him, it wasn't out of the blue. For the coach, or, for the OU staff, it was completely out of the blue. So there was an LSU rumor that started 2 weeks ago. I never really saw that happening. LSU isn't really the kind of program that you leave OU for. But USC possibly is. And I think the LSU job was just used to leverage USC into more money. I don't think that LSU was ever in play. I think that if anything, Lincoln Riley's agent may have contacted LSU and said, hey, Lincoln Riley, man, how much are you willing to throw out there? And they did put on the table a $12 million a year contract. But the reports are USC came over the top with a $150 million, $15 million a year contract. The details haven't come out yet, so I'm just kind of speculating-ish. That's the rumor, though. And $15 million a year is insane. Nick Saban doesn't even make $10 million a year. Then he's the highest paid head coach in college football right now. So the money aside, you got to take that money. That's the thing. The problems I have with is how this all went about. So when Bob Stoops left the program in 2016, we brought Lincoln Riley in from Eastern Carolina to be the offensive coordinator for that 2015 team. It was a magical season. Baker Mayfield's first year there. He transferred in. And it was a magical year. It was great. We had a lot of fun. Lincoln was kind of fielding offers then, maybe to get a head coaching position at a different school. And what ended up happening is Bob kind of just retired and allowed Lincoln to take his spot and, take the program to the next level. Well, we gave Lincoln 5 years. He came pretty close a couple of times. The last 2 seasons haven't been great. I think the problem I've had with Lincoln is I don't know if he's a great head coach. He's an amazing offensive coordinator. He's an amazing offensive mind in general. Some of the plays that he comes up with, they go straight to the Sunday. Like NFL teams will copy some of the plays that he's using. We had in 2016, 2017, we had head coaches from the NFL come to Oklahoma's practices just to watch and see how Lincoln Riley came up with plays and how he designed plays. But the last 2 years been pretty lacking, been pretty sad. The coaching hasn't been very good, and I don't really understand why he did it that way. This year was probably the most talented team Lincoln Riley's ever had, and I mean, he squandered the opportunity to maybe win a title. I don't like that's the only thing I don't understand, I guess, about all this is like why do it that way. But if this was his plan all along, I guess it makes sense. Makes sense why you would do that. As far as like a scorned OU fan, okay, we didn't win a title while he was here. He got damn close. All the quarterbacks that he took to the Heisman ceremonies came from other schools. They fit right into Lincoln's system, and it ended up looking great. They played well, but end of the day, we didn't win it. We didn't win the big one. We won 6 straight Big 12 championships, and that's something that you can't take away from OU, and that's pretty special. I'm happy that we got that part. We did not win a playoff game, and like I said, the program set back a few years. We're going to lose a ton of players. We haven't even scratched the surface because Caleb Williams is for sure leaving. So like I said, Spencer Rattler has already announced he's transferring. This kind of was going to happen either way, even if Lincoln stayed. But he's taken all the recruits that he got with him, and we're pretty going to have to start from scratch. I think Oklahoma should look in the direction of Luke Fickell from Cincinnati. Brent Venables, defensive coordinator at Clemson, would be a strong hire, I think. I've seen some other goofier names out there like Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's not coming to Oklahoma. He doesn't like Ole Miss now. So why would he come to Oklahoma when he's probably he has the Miami job in hand if he wants it, I think. I don't know that for a fact. But I also think he could have the LSU job in hand. I think he might rather be in LSU or Miami rather than Oklahoma. It's just I don't know. He seems more of an ocean guy, not really a lake guy, and that's really all you could get in Oklahoma. So let's get on to the other part of this. That's the Oklahoma part of this. It's sad. It sucks. The program's bigger than a head coach. We didn't win a national title with him here, so it's kind of like thanks for the memories. I wish you wouldn't have burned down the place on your way out the door. But hey, that's what you chose to do. You poured gasoline all over the place and flicked your match. Whatever. Let's get on with it. USC. So USC has Jackson Dart as the quarterback right now. Many people suspect, including myself, that they'll also add Caleb Williams from Oklahoma to that quarterback room, which will make it special. And then they're also probably will get Malachi Nelson, who's a 2023 5-star quarterback from California. And then there's a couple other players that are from out there, Raleek Brown and a wide receiver that plays with Malachi Nelson out there. And I think those all guys will go straight to there, and that's fine. Oh, Makai Lemon, that's what 5-star wide receiver from California. They'll probably all stay in California at USC, and that makes a lot of sense. You're getting Alex Grinch, defensive coordinator. You're getting there's been speculation that Bill Bedenbaugh, the fantastic offensive line coach from Oklahoma, is rumored to go with him, but we'll see. I'm not sure about that. You're also getting Benny Wiley. Probably not a good call there. Strength and conditioning was a major weakness at Oklahoma. And Dennis Simmons, the outside wide receivers coach, varying results. He has made a couple of good wide receivers, but it's because of him, because of talent. I don't know. Well, it's beside the point. I think there's been some squandered talent the last 2 years, but that's neither here nor there. So what USC is getting, you're getting a great offensive mind. You're getting a coach that, for all intents and purposes, cares about his players. You know, you can make arguments that what he did to the players that are still on Oklahoma now and probably don't have a chance to transfer out to USC kind of left them high and dry. But, you know, he kind of sprung this on everybody. So anybody who's still with Oklahoma, like, oops. But USC, they needed this. The Pac-12 needs an entire shift. It's an easy conference to win. There's no special teams out on the West Coast. Oregon looks like they're most likely going to lose Mario Cristobal. He might be going to Miami as well. So there's not really anybody standing in the way of winning the Pac-12. It's there for the taking. All of those teams are bad. Personally, don't know who would want to play at, these 9 p.m. start times. You're not really going to get as much coverage as you once would. But as far as USC goes, they'll be fine. It'll be a good team. They'll be relevant, which is what USC needs. That's what they're paying for. USC's not paying for national titles. You just don't. First of all, the coaching staff that Lincoln Riley has now is not a championship coaching staff. It's not. Alex Grinch is not. The other guys there are not either, and they're going to need to bring in more people to make that into a championship squad. But it's going to be flashy. They're going to have all the celebrities on the sideline. It's going to look cool. They'll be relevant, and that's what they need. That's all that USC needs. But anyway, they have Jackson Dart. Kid's a great quarterback. I think he's better than Caleb Williams is, and that's why I'm sure Caleb Williams is going to have a tough time transferring out there, because you might not be able to get that starting job away. I mean, maybe because you have a relationship with Riley, maybe that's what, supersedes it. But I think Williams will probably wait until he can see for sure what's going to happen with the coaching job at OU. There could be plenty of things that happen there. But as far as college football as a whole, so one of the reasons Riley claimed to have left is because of OU's going to the SEC at the end, not necessarily next season, but it could be 2 seasons from now. It comes off scared, not going to lie. Pac-12 is a much easier conference to win. It's a great recruiting bed out there in California. He can dominate that one for years. He's going to, like I said, he's going to have special teams. The problem is, I don't know if he's got enough to get them over the hump. He's not much of a risk taker, that Riley. Must much rather play the safe game, which leads to why, he didn't want to go to the SEC. I don't think that he thinks he can win there, and that's one of the reasons that he left. And I can't blame him. I mean, the SEC is going to be a hard place to win, and Oklahoma is already behind the 8 ball. They're going to have plenty of hard time getting back up now, especially because they're not going to have very good recruiting classes, especially not this year or next year, because most of the coaches these players wanted to play for left. And that's what it is. The rumors behind the scenes, we'll get into some of those. Lincoln Riley said a few words to his entire team before he left. Not much. He was called out by running backs coach DeMarco Murray about how, it's kind of a coward move. Can't say I blame him, but, that's how it's been handled behind the scenes, and everybody pretty much was blindsided by this. So it's been a tough, weird 24 hours for Oklahoma fans. And by the way, Adam Schefter, we get it. You're in bed with coaches' agents. Stop putting out Cliff Kingsbury's name of his getting the possibility for the Oklahoma job. He's not going to get the Oklahoma job. That is his agent leveraging for a new contract because his is up at the end of the season. Just shut the fuck up. He could be going to the Super Bowl with Kyler Murray at the end of the season. He is not going to worry about a college football head coaching job. We don't even need LOL. Oklahoma doesn't need Cliff Kingsbury. He was not a very good college football coach, and he has somehow made himself into a really good head coach in the NFL. Whether that's due to Kyler Murray or not, I don't know, but we'll see. But that's kind of what's been happening around college football today. Massive landscape changing position move from Lincoln Riley to go to USC. and to leave Oklahoma on fire, because it's still on. The thing is this isn't over for them. It's going to burn for quite some time, and the fire is going to have to be put out by the AD Joe Castiglione. He's going to have to put in a new coach, and it's got to be somebody who can connect with some of these players, salvage some sort of a recruiting class. Maybe if they already had a recruiting class at their school, like Cincinnati, maybe Luke Fickell can bring some people over him. He's a defensive-minded head coach, which I think is what Oklahoma needs going into the SEC. It's fun being a good offensive school, but as like Lane Kiffin has shown, as some of those other coaches there have shown, offense isn't really ever the thing that's going to get you there. You're going to have good defense, and that's where I think we got to start. That's why Brent Venables, defensive-minded head coach, Luke Fickell, defensive-minded head coach. I think that's where you start, and that is how you build a program back. So Oklahoma will be fine. USC will be fine. Everybody will be fine in the end of this. The freak out is going too far. And this is a special shout out to Joel Klatt, who compares this move from Lincoln Riley to USC to the OU doing a backdoor deal to move to the SEC. The backdoor deal was in plain view for multiple years. Oklahoma made it very clear for the past 7 years that they did not like how the Big 12 was being run. They did not like the direction that the program or the conference was headed in, and they made that painfully fucking obvious to you, and you didn't do anything. So Joel Klatt, this is not the same thing. Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma high and fucking dry. It's kind of like Kevin Durant leaving OKC for Golden State with so much as, goodbye or sup, bye, see ya. Like that's the equivalent. It's not 1-to-1. And all these beat writers are like, oh, Oklahoma fans, this happens all the time. This is a head coaching thing. Yeah, it does happen all the time. You know where that doesn't happen? Oklahoma. We've had 2 coaches in 21 years. And the coach that left for the guy who just left us high and dry. Bob Stoops handed him a program on a silver platter that was good to go, ready to be managed into a national title contender. And where did Lincoln Riley leave Oklahoma that he supposedly loves so much? Like dust in the wind. Just left it, So that's where we're at. I just had to get on here. We had to, get a few of these thoughts out on video real quick, because this is massive news. And I've said it on the Dynasty Show many times. I am an Oklahoma fan, so I definitely am plugged into what's going on. I am not mad about this as much as I probably should be. I'm tired of seeing Oklahoma lose big games, and I will be happy to see USC lose those big games, because there's one thing that Lincoln Riley doesn't have, and that's the killer gene. And he killed Oklahoma, but I don't think it's going to help him in the long run, because he burned a lot of bridges, and he's shown some colors that I didn't think a lot of people thought he had inside of him, about how he did recruits and some of the players and some of the coaches and the administration. Just wasn't a good look. In USC, more power to you. I'm glad that you're going to have your flashy, splashy program, but for years to come, might not be a good call. So I will be back with a regular show on Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Not sure yet. With Dynasty Tailgate, we're going to get into all of the rookies going into 2022. It's time to put some of our worries behind us about some of these rookies. We need to make a tiered list, kind of see who we're looking at here. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you for stopping by. Subscribe to this video below on YouTube if you're listening to it. If you're on the podcast, please just subscribe to the channel, press like, leave a review, whatever you like. It doesn't matter, because Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma. I'm just kidding. Have a great day. I will talk to you all on Thursday.